Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We're here ready to rock, about to step once again into Battle World. It's a Tuesday night, so you know what that means. Kills with me and Eric, of course. And guys, tonight is the night. Tonight's the night. You know we love to do this. We've got a really fun matchup. And yeah, for you guys in the chat, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you guys, seriously. Okay, real quick, just to say hey to you guys here. We see all of you, Paula and Jason. Let's see, Buff Shaman's in the chat. All right. We got Russell. Very cool to see you guys. Jerry's in the house. All right. Let's see, we got Gerald. Hey Gerald, how's it going? Saying hello. Paula. We got Neon Black Reviews. What's up, Neil? Good to see
Hey,
you.
Neil.
Hey. Ginger Ninja in the house, of course. Very cool. All right. Well, look, let's not delay this any further. We've got a really interesting matchup tonight. And Eric, let's have you tell us who is in corner number 1. And remember, say his name with pride. Say his name with pride.
I knew you'd say that. Well, honestly, boys, what's left to do when your franchise has suffered through the likes of alternate timelines, the Cult of Thorn, and even Dangertainment? You got to start fresh after that. From the mind of a shock rocker making waves in independent film, we get back to some realism. We've gone from Shape to A Broken Home with a young boy that has an affinity for harming animals, bullies, and anyone that gets in his way. But even after all that, he's still just a mama's boy. Once he's grown and abandoned by the last caring individual of their life, the chains are literally off and the monster is loose. This brutal, bloody, and brand new take from Haddonfield, Illinois, the reigning and defending Battle World champion and the man with the biggest comeback and undefeated streak in Battle World history, representing Halloween 2007, your champion, Michael Audrey Myers.
That's right.
That's right.
How was that?
With pride. With
All right.
pride. Hey, look, before we start cheerleading, I'll just let you guys know who we got in the other corner. In the other corner, sometimes when you have, your whole life ahead of you, and you're in school, you run into bullies, and bullies are not cool. Okay. You think you can turn to someone, you can't even turn to who's at home with you because that person can freak you out on any given day, whether it's talking about Let's Pray, talking about the dirty pillows, or anything else. And you got to feel for this person. You really do. From the great Brian De Palma and starring the fantastic Sissy Spacek, we've got Carrie from 1976, who is representing Stephen King to challenge for the title. Kill, let's go to Kill's commentary. What do you think about this, man?
Look, you guys have tried with Freddie, you've tried with Jason. Now you got to go to the king of horror. You got to go to Stephen King. You got to go to Stephen King. And then on top of that, you got to go to Carrie. Wow. Okay. Michael is just sitting back, just doing like this. He's like, just come on. Let's see what you got. This is gonna be a good one, though. This is good.
Hey, look, man, I'm just saying, Michael has fought dream demons. He's fought the undead at Crystal Lake. I mean, who knows? Who knows? But he went through the gauntlet. He's proven himself, and wow.
And look, and we all know what Carrie does to bullies, but Michael, if he grabs a stick and catches you walking home alone, rocking the clown mask, he's gonna beat you to death. So
that's right, man. All right, guys, let's get ready to do this thing. Kill. Listen, first of all, just say his name one more time, because who knows? This could be the last time. Because you know what? Tonight is special because Michael. There has been instated a no rematch clause. So if Michael loses tonight, he will not get a rematch.
Wow. The deck
Wow.
is literally being stacked.
Yes, it is.
Pinfalls can happen anywhere.
Yes.
No
Tables,
DQs.
chairs.
Yep.
I love it. But I hear something, man. I hear something, and it's not the pitter patter of high schoolers walking through the halls. What do you hear, Kill? Do you hear it?
I hear some loud, big, dirty feet.
With a taco deluxe
knocking
supreme
on Joe
talking back at
Grizzly's
me.
knocking on Joe Grizzly's bathroom stall.
There you go. All right, guys. Let's get ready to do this thing. For you guys in the chat, for you guys watching the replay, sit back, relax. It's Carrie versus Michael Audrey Myers. Let's go.
You are starting to know me.
I hate you.
And I hate you too. You see this? I'm gonna break it again on your fucking face.
Enough.
Hey, what's going on here? They're coming in hot, bro. They're
Yeah.
coming in hot. All right, man. Real quick in the chat before we officially get started here. Also wanted to say hey to everyone that's jumped in. We see you guys. Welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. And we also have a channel member anniversary for Jason,
Oh,
the
nice.
nice one. 7 months. Awesome stuff, man. Jason, thank you so much for all your support and love. We really appreciate it. And he's saying, looking forward to this stream. Interesting matchup, right? Can't believe 7 months. It's been awesome. Night, you're the best. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you seriously, and hope that you enjoy this one. We really, really hope that you guys enjoy this one. We've been kind of waiting to make it happen. Good evening to all of you guys that are just coming in. We got Ben, we got Million in the chat, RJ, Scott is in the chat, Rebecca's in the chat. Good to see you guys. All right, Jinzo,
Welcome.
yes, and everyone else. Okay, so you guys know how we do this thing. We are going to go category by category. Okay, we're going to give the point to the movie that we think deserves it, not based upon our preference or likes. Okay, I always have to put that out there. You guys in the chat, let us know what you think, what each category should give the point to which film. We'll try to get to as many of you guys as we can. But if you choose to do a super chat, we will make sure we get to your comment and or question, and you're also able to make that super chat become a point, or I should say points, for the movie of your choice. So if you sent in a $2 super chat, let's say, then you can put those 2 points to the film of your choice. All right. Let's see. You guys in the chat, these guys are ready for this. Scott says, I don't know if this is a fair fight. Well, it'll definitely be a fair fight.
Oh yeah.
We always have fair fights. And again, the categories is the reason. Okay. All right. So let's start this thing off. You guys know how we do this. Eric, we're going to start with the poster. The poster. So we've got the poster for Halloween 2007. And then we have the poster for Carrie. What do you think, man? What do you think?
Okay. Here's a way for me to decide. There's one poster I really like, and there's one poster I love. I love Halloween's. No disrespect to Carrie. I love the happy and then the out of her mind Carrie, like right next to each other. You want to know how she went from point A to point B. But there's so much good and creativity in Halloween. First, you have his silhouette. He's not wearing the mask. Then you have the mask in the background. But like I've said before, the last time we discussed this one, you got little scenes and little snippets of the characters in the movie in that mask, and it just looks so cool with the yellow and the orange. That's badass. That's something I'd want on my wall.
All right. Okay. Kill. How about you?
Well, I actually had that poster on my wall.
Oh.
You know, I agree with everything Eric said. There's no lying here. I love this poster. It's one of my favorite Halloween posters, definitely ever. I love the coloring. I love the orange. I love all the scenes that are essentially in his head, and you can kind of infer that, you know, in a deeper metaphor there too. You know how what Rob likes to do. Shouts out to the White Horse.
Right.
But yeah, you know, it's just awesome. And then, you know, Tyler is just there, just looking like Thor, crazy Thor, or something with a knife.
Crazy Thor.
You know, it's just like, you know, it just looks awesome. And yeah, I got to go with Halloween.
Okay. All right. For me, I think that you know, again, we talked about this before, especially when we have movies from different time periods, which we've done that several times. They're just different things that they're trying to accomplish. When you have the posters for back in the 70s to the mid 80s, you know, a lot of times it was something that was you know, it was kind of artistic in the way of showing you the movie, like someone in the movie or something that is dealing with the plot. Whereas things like around 2007 and on, you know, they were really trying to, you know, do a lot of different things, as far as with this being the mural, showing you pieces of the story. And of course, Tyler being there with the silhouette is really, really awesome. I love Carrie's. I really, really do. But I got to give the point to Halloween for this one. So there we go. We're going with Halloween. All right. Real quick, too, in the chat, we've got Samuel in the chat. We got Russell in the chat. Good to see you guys.
Hey, Russell.
Hope you guys are doing well. Jinzo is going with Carrie. Neil's going with Halloween. Ben's going with Halloween. All right. Russell's going with Halloween. Million's going with Halloween. Okay. All right. Brian's in the chat. What's up, Brian? Good to see you. Rebecca also going with Halloween. Okay. Let's go to the tagline. As usual, Eric, the tagline, our next category. So the tagline for Carrie is, "If only they knew she had the power." And the tagline for Halloween is, "Evil has a destiny." All right, man. Who's getting the point?
They're both kind of generic, kind of meh. But I'm going to go with Carrie because I like that whole "if they only knew" type of thing. So that makes me think someone fucked up and they didn't know any better. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's getting me into that movie. You know, I want to know what they did wrong and how they dealt with it. So I'm going with Carrie.
All right. Okay. What about you, Kill?
You know, they are both a little generic.
Right.
If only they knew she had the power. Like, you know, what power? Like, snap, I got the power. Like, what power are we talking about?
He-Man.
You know, I gotta go with Halloween. Evil has a destiny. When you put the words evil and destiny together,
Okay.
that just, you know, and in my opinion, with that, all the little silhouettes that are on the poster, it kind of goes hand in hand. Like, is this the destiny of things to come for this person? You know, I mean, essentially we see him from a child to a grown-up man. So yeah, I gotta go with evil has a destiny.
All right. Okay, real quick too. In the chat, let's just jump into the chat real quick. Samuel's going with Carrie. We've got, let's see. Neil saying evil has a destiny and it won't die tonight. There you go.
That's right.
Jason going with Carrie. Gerald going with Carrie. Paula going with Carrie. Let's see. RJ going with Halloween. Let's see. Million saying Halloween should sweep this, depending on the criteria. Well, let me just say, guys, if we knew someone was going to sweep it, we wouldn't do the episode. Okay. There's a reason that we have the matchup. Jeez. All right. So for me, I think both of these taglines are kind of they're kind of in the same vein. They're sparking some curiosity and alluding to what's going to happen. It's pretty close, but I got to go with Carrie on this one. And Eric, you actually said it really well. When they say if they only knew, it's kind of like, oh wow. It's kind of like that is really intriguing, and what is the power? If you've never seen the movie, which is how, we're looking at some of these things like that the first time you saw the poster or the first time you heard the tagline, man, it's kind of like, well, what does that mean? Because I had no idea what was going to happen when I first saw the movie. So I got to give this point to Carrie on this. All right. Let's see. Ginger Ninja saying evil has a destiny that wins. Okay, all right, man. Let's see. Million saying I like both taglines, but Carrie's too on the nose in specific. Okay, all right. Brian is going with Carrie. Russell is also going with Carrie. Quentin is going with Halloween. Okay. We got Sarah in the chat. What's going on, Sarah? Good to see you.
There she is.
Hey.
Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Very, very cool. Okay, our next category, Eric, we're going to be talking about the opening to the movie, which of course can be the first couple of minutes. It could be up to 15 minutes. What do you think? Who gets the point?
This is going to be easy street for me. I'm going with Carrie. Halloween is like I said it before, kind of like at the end of the original Texas Chainsaw. It's sensory overload for me. Yeah, I get the point with the chaos and the yelling and the screaming and the baby crying. I get that because that's to set the tone of where Michael's living his life. But it's too much for me. I like how subtle kind of Carrie is in the beginning. She screws up at volleyball. PJ Souls hits her with the hats. We already know she's bullied. Right. And then the only time she has to be by herself and not be picked on is when she's in the shower. Then it happens, and then it's just them teasing her like crazy. She thinks she's dying. Sissy Spacek looks like she's losing her mind. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then we have that great shot of when Miss Desjardins, snaps her back into focus, I guess you would say, and then boom, the light bulb breaks, and that's great foreshadowing. Gotta go, Carrie.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well said, man. Kill. How about you?
I like both, but I do agree with Eric. Halloween's is a little sensory overload, but I'm still going to go with Halloween because my issue with the Carrie one is, all right, she's getting bullied. We're watching young girls change. We're watching her shower. Like that's all well and fine. Then you switch to Halloween, and I agree, it's sensory overload with the house to show the dysfunction. But and in my calculation, in that first 10 minutes, you still also have that first kill. You have that first real kill that Michael does, like little Michael. And for me, that's what lands me on the side of Halloween, because it's foreshadowing. He's escalating. He's killing animals. And then he gets bullied himself. And that interaction where the kid is walking home, he takes the clown mask off. He's looking at the boy. When he slowly just does this and pulls it back down, it's like, oh, to me, it sends chills up my spine because he's turning into something else. And what he does is horrific to this kid. And this is all still in the first 10 minutes. So yeah, I this one for me, unfortunately, it's tough, but I'm gonna go with Halloween.
All right. Okay. For me, listen, and you guys both make some great points, but I think personally speaking, when we're talking about an opening, and you guys know this, and Eric, you alluded to this as well. With Halloween, I appreciate the fact that they're showing, the environment that he's in, that he's growing up in. I do think it's way over the top. I've said that forever on this channel, even when we did our deep dive discussion on the Rob Zombie films. The bully scene, although that's kind of near the end of what I would consider the opening, it was really good. And I think it definitely foreshadowed. But personally, I'm going to give the point to Carrie, because in the opening of that movie, you've already seen that she's up against it. She's getting bullied by all of these girls. Like usually, in a movie, you might see a couple. It was like freaking like 8 of them, 9 of them, And so in other words, you're already kind of like, wow, this girl, I feel so bad for her. Like I felt bad for Michael in that opening a little bit, but then they also kind of played both sides of it, because he's killing animals and stuff like that, and just the over the top nature of it. So I'm gonna give this point to Carrie for the opening. Okay, all right. In the chat, we've got Brian going with Carrie. Okay, all right. We got David in the chat saying this is a good versus battle. Well, thank you so much. That's why we're doing it. That's what we thought too. You have two characters that have been bullied, and then the shit goes down. So, all right. Paul is going with Halloween. We got Philip in the chat. What's going on? Let's see. RJ saying that Carrie has the better opening. Halloween. Rob Zombie has the most vulgar opening I've ever seen and heard. There's some truth to that. Let's see. Ginger Ninja was saying, regardless of the opening, it shows the true evil and rage inside of Michael. All right. All right. Neil saying, that's right. Carrie begins with blood and it ends with blood. Jinzo is going with Carrie. All right. Very cool. Next up, man, let's go to our next category. The next category is going to be the score of the movies. The score. Okay, Eric, what do we got?
I'm going to be honest. I could tell you, I've watched Rob's version of Halloween a handful of times, and I honestly only remember the classic Halloween score. I really love. I'm going to give it to Carrie because I really love a lot of its score. Aside from a couple choices, like during the punishment scene in gym class when it gets kind of funky and weird, and it just kind of doesn't fit. You know what I mean? But the scene that seals it for me is the scene where she's dancing with Tommy. You know what I mean? It gives you that happy-go-lucky feeling, which is what it's supposed to do. And you've been watching the movie, so you know it's not going to end that way. So it gives you that, I wouldn't say false sense of security because you know what's going to happen, but it fits the moment perfectly. And then once she loses it, you hear a little, you hear those stings from Psycho. You know what I mean? That are really well done. And there's a lot of sadness to the score, and it fits her character, Carrie White, perfectly.
All right. Well said. Kill, how about you?
I'm going to go with Carrie on this one, because just like Eric said, other than that original Halloween, score, that motif, the rest of it kind of just gets blended in there. Carrie, when she's being bullied, I guess, bullied by her mom, in some of those scenes where she's being punished and so forth, like the music is just so sad and it just fits so well with the scene. Also, a lot of the licensed music that was in it, whether it's like John Travolta driving in his car and playing like oh, I know that song. Overall, all of the music totally fits the scene, and I agree with what Eric said. The prom scene where she's dancing, it's like, oh man, I feel so happy for her, but then it goes to shit. So yeah, I gotta go Carrie on this one.
Yeah. Well said. For me, this is interesting, big time, because we're talking about the score now. With Halloween, Rob made the choice to not use the Carpenter music, like it usually would be in a Halloween film, which I understand why he did that. I mean, I've talked about that ad nauseum in live streams and videos and so forth. You heard it a couple times, like when he got the mask. You heard it at the end when the credits rolled. He had a variation of of the chase motif. Dun 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 dun. But he amped it up. It was like this, almost like a rocker version of it, which in my opinion, I don't like as much as the original. Now he had a lot of great music, like popular music in the film, but we're talking about the score. whereas with Carrie, and you said it too, Kill, there was some music, popular music in Carrie's film too that was fine. But again, just talking about the score alone, one of the creepiest pieces in Carrie is that little piano piece, that like when her mother was coming down the stairs at the end of the movie with the knife and that little piano. Dun, dun, dun. I can't do it, but you guys know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Still creepy, man. Like, when you first watch it. So I got to give the point to Carrie on this. If Rob had used the theme through the movie, I would have much more appreciated that, and I probably would have given the point, but he only used it a couple times, and he did that on purpose to differentiate his film from Carpenter. I think, I understand why he did it, but again, I just think it didn't give you as much of that Halloween feel, That's what I wanted in that. All right, real quick, let's jump into the chat. Ginger Ninja saying, I can't decide, can't remember the score for either. Okay, all right. Brian, we remember because we just watched the movies. Brian going with Halloween. Let's see. Sarah is going with Halloween. Jinzo saying Carrie is very much like Cujo in the way that neither Carrie or Cujo are neither evil or bad, both tragic characters. Scott going Halloween for the score. Wow, I'm surprised. Okay. Let's see. Rebecca is going with Carrie. Russell is going with Carrie, saying Carrie, yes. Okay. And let's see. I think I'm caught up. Ben going with Halloween. Okay. All right. Next up, the story. The story. Eric, so the question is, which one has the better way that the story is crafted? Who gets the point?
Okay, this is tough because I've always said that I've always said I loved the stuff in the institution with Michael. I love that edition. But I'm gonna go with Carrie because they're both bullied, so that's gonna cancel it out for me. But what really gets me, and with it being Stephen King, is that bullied kid who has that moment of victory and beautifulness and the happy parts of life that she should have been having her entire high school year life, you know what I mean? And then you have that fall, and then you have her rage coming out and what she does. So I've always been a sucker for that bullied kid kind of gets revenge type of thing, but I think the way this is done, and because Carrie I think is so lovable in this movie, that just seals it for me. You know what I mean? You want her to win, and that's what makes the story even more heartbreaking for me. Is you want her to win, and you know she's not going to. So
right. Kill, how about you?
This is tough. Because other than the latest trilogy of Halloween movies, the story in a lot of them has kind of been either just over the top and crazy or just not too deep. This one is very deep because Rob really took us to a cerebral level that he unfortunately went a little too far in his second movie. But this one, you learn so much of the background of young Michael and the traumas that he had, whether you feel that you need that or not with your version of The Shape. I enjoyed it. Carrie, although I love the story to Carrie, for me, it's a little basic. She gets bullied, has powers. She gets kind of tricked to the prom, and then she kills them all. And then she kind of kills herself and her mom. The end. Now, obviously, there's more complexity in there, but literally in the first 15 minutes of Halloween, whether it's too much with the family, and I get that, but there are families that are like that, unfortunately. So it might be too much for me and Knight because we didn't grow up with that, but I'm sure, unfortunately, some people did. But just in that first 15 minutes, you have so much, and the thing that really lends it me going Halloween is something Eric said, and I agree with him, and I think I've said this before. The mom, the scenes with Sherry Moon Zombie and little Michael where she's talking to him, where she's defending him, where she's talking to him with Loomis, and it's just like, wow. And then of course, unfortunately, what she does because of the things that he did. So I got to go with Halloween on this one.
All right. Okay. This one is really tough, man, because I think both of these movies, they do a really interesting job on the story, and I think both of them, even though, and Eric, you had said this, they have parallels as far as being bullied, and then what's the outcome of that bullying, what's the outcome of their the way they were brought up and so forth. There's just a lot of through lines in both films. You have, and we'll get to that later, but you have people that are trying to help, you have people that are trying to protect, you have people that are trying to understand both of these characters, which is why we're doing this matchup. But I think that I would have to edge it out to Halloween. And Kill, you said it perfectly. I think the complexity of the household he was brought up in, and this is crazy to say it, but I've said it from day one, even the first time we talked about Halloween 2007 on our deep dive discussion. Sherry Moon Zombie.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, you can say what you want, and I can agree. There's been a lot of times where I think that she didn't always hit the mark for me. But in this movie, I felt as though she did a hell of a job.
Oh yeah.
As far as showing different sides to this mother who's trying to keep a broken up family together and trying to care for her son that she finds out is basically pure evil. And like you said, Kill, that's those scenes, and you said it too, Eric, the scenes at Smith's Grove where she's there and just trying to hang on barely,
Mhm.
by like a fingernail. That's all she's hanging
Yeah.
on by, right? And then of course what she does.
Yeah.
And I think that it was just so powerful the way that was illustrated throughout those moments in the film.
Mhm.
And I think that's the one that kind of brings it over the top for me to give the point to Halloween, just barely, because I think the story for Carrie is great. There's a lot of great moments, but we got to give this one to Halloween.
Yeah, I've said it before. Like, even though I'm picking Carrie, I'm giving, you got to give Sherry her props.
You
You can say
do.
what you want about how she gets her roles and her
Mhm.
acting ability, whatever. I think when she's not playing this over the top character like Baby Firefly or even like Lily Munster, you know what I mean? She
Mhm.
can act. The problem is she's not really given the opportunity to do so. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when she does, as overlooked as it is, she really hits a home run. I think she's fantastic as Michael's mother.
I agree. I agree.
Yep.
And the thing of it is too, and of course we're not talking about it tonight, but just I'm just gonna say it. That's what makes me so much more frustrated with the choices they made for her in the second film. Because I think that she was fantastically portrayed in this movie. And to be
Mhm.
quite honest, if Rob, and obviously he would have decided to put her into the second movie, I think she should have been more of an angelic presence,
Mhm.
or more neutral, let's say, more like how Pamela was to Jason, right? My
Mhm.
dear boy, and stuff like that. Not necessarily saying kill them all, do it. You know what I mean? I think,
White Horse.
well, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, but that frustration with that is augmented because of how good she was in this film. I mean,
Mhm.
I'll say that forever. She was just
Yep.
fantastic. And I wish she could do more things like this where she's given that opportunity, like you were saying, Eric, because those scenes in the institution alone, even at the
Mhm.
house, they were
Mhm.
great too. But at the institution alone was like a snapshot of what this lady can do with the right type of material.
The thing is, I'll say this: she looked so defeated, but
Hmm.
because since that was her baby, she wasn't giving up until she finally couldn't
Right.
take anymore. Sherry did a really, really good job.
Yeah, no doubt at all. All right. We got Troy in the chat. We got Melissa in the chat. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for being with us here tonight. And if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It really would help us out. We'd appreciate it. Okay, next category, Eric. The supporting characters. All right, so we're talking about all the characters involved, obviously, except for Carrie and for Michael. Who gets the point?
I'm going Carrie. Loomis is great. We just talked about how great Sherry Moon was. The rest of the characters are either very despicable and deplorable, or just kind of there. As much as I love Dee Wallace in this movie, she's just kind of there. She's got a couple good scenes. I love when she's flirting with her husband on the porch. You know what I mean? You want to go get lucky? Yeah, sure. That just sweet stuff like that. But Carrie, Tommy in Carrie is such a wonderful character. He didn't want to take her to the prom. I love that scene with him and Sue. She's just doing homework and he's stuck watching TV. Fine, I'll do it. That type of stuff. I love how Sue realized that she messed up and she is legitimately wanting to do good. And then you got Nancy Allen, one of the most wicked people in the Stephen King universe.
Yeah.
Because let's just think about this. If she didn't die by the end of that movie, she's a senior. Imagine her at 35 in the business world or something like that. You know what I
she
mean?
becomes a cop.
Yeah, Murphy.
Shouts out to RoboCop.
Yes.
But she's one of the best villains. And again, then we also have Margaret White. As great as Loomis is, having Chris and Margaret together, that's unstoppable when it comes to villains. But then again, like I said, I just love Sue and Tommy so much in this film.
All right. Okay. Well said. How about you, Kill?
This is the first easy street for me. I'm going with Carrie. Mrs. White is a lot.
Right?
Yeah.
That's putting it lightly.
Yeah, that's the easiest, nicest way I could say it, to the point where everybody in the neighborhood knows.
Yeah.
And poor Carrie, Tommy, is awesome. Nancy Allen is the like you just said, the epitome of a Stephen King bully. Stephen writes some of the best and twisted bullies, and Nancy Allen's character is right up there. And with Mrs. White, kind of getting Carrie at home and the girls getting Carrie at school, it's like she's getting it from all directions, and it's just so many characters that are out to get her. And I want to give props to the gym teacher.
Yes, I forgot her.
She is so sweet, to the point where she's like, Tommy, why are you taking her to the prom? What are you up to? And then at the prom, sitting down with Carrie and talking to her, letting her know how pretty she is, and just encouraging her. That's a beautiful teacher. Shouts out to all the teachers.
Miss Collins.
Miss Collins. So yeah, this is an easy one. You just have so many super sweet, nice characters like Miss Collins, and then so many despicable characters that it's just quantity and quality on the Carrie side. So.
Okay, so yeah, it was interesting how you just said that, because to me, I think both films have great supporting characters. Both films have great actors involved. Okay, let's just put that out there. With Halloween, obviously, Malcolm McDowell was great. You've got obviously Danielle and Scout. Those guys were great as the young versions and so forth. But if you Brad Dourif, don't forget about Brad Dourif. He was great. I mean, seriously, Ken Foray, Joe Grizzly, all of that was great. Carrie had great characters as well, and like you guys said, Piper Laurie, wow. I mean, just crazy stuff that was going on. Nancy Allen, again, Amy Irving, and I think, Kill, you said it perfectly. I think when you talk about an amount, but also the quality of the characters, right? The acting, the levels to which they go to. I mean, Margaret White is one of the chief horror mothers of all time in horror. I mean, when I think of horror mothers, she's right up there, just like Pamela. You know what I'm saying? So I got to give this one to Carrie as well, man. I think it just outweighs Halloween, because as many people that are good in Halloween, they're not there for long. It's almost like Rob Zombie has, and I love it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just basing it on what we see one
Mhm.
movie versus another. It's great to see Sid Haig, and we got all the the
regulars.
Firefly people coming in, Bill Moseley. I mean, it's literally a who's who, cameos galore. People just walking by the camera saying, "Hey guys, you know me, what's up?" And that's cool.
Mhm.
But they don't have the weight that the characters in Carrie have. That's just facts.
Yeah,
Okay?
they stick with you in Carrie.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let me catch up to the chat here. Jinzo is going with Carrie. Let's see. Neil's going with Halloween. Melissa is going with Carrie. Let's see. Russell's like William Cat. I know. Believe it or not. Million saying Halloween wins this one too. Joe Grizzly stole the show in a short time, and Dee Wallace is so lovable.
Mhm.
I love Joe Grizzly. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
But he's got like 5 minutes in the movie. Like
Mhm.
he's not even close to Margaret White or Nancy Allen or Amy Irving. Like, I mean, he's great, but all right. Jinzo saying Piper Laurie and Betty Buckley. Exactly. All right. Gerald saying Carrie, and it's not close. All right. Paul is saying this one is tough, but I will go with Carrie. Ben going Carrie for sure. Let's see. Rebecca is going with Carrie. Okay. All right. Ginger Ninja saying Halloween. All right. Brian saying Carrie. Scott's going with Carrie. Million saying Danielle Harris did better in this than all her career post Halloween 5. Yeah, she was great in this. I think she was even better in Halloween 2, though. That's the thing that's so interesting about the two Rob Zombie Halloween movies. You have good things in each, and then the overall mix is kind of one way and then another. But Danielle Harris and Brad Dourif, to me, they were amazing in Halloween 2. Scout was too. Scout was amazing in what they had her do. But yeah, no, they were great. They were great. Okay, Million saying I don't remember any supporting characters in Carrie. Okay.
Wow.
You don't remember Margaret White, Carrie's mother?
You better rewatch it then.
Right? Well, and that's the thing. When we do these, and we've said this before, guys, we watch these movies before we do this show. So we are totally fresh, absolutely fresh. And I do that even with movies I know. Like I could, I could do a Halloween episode. I don't need to watch it at all, but I do just so I make sure that it's fresh. Real quick, Brian saying, gotta go. Good night, everyone. All right, man. Well, thank you for being here. We appreciate that. Let's see. We got Neil coming in. Super chat time.
Hey.
$30 super chat. All right. Saying I refuse to let Rob Zombie lose.
Wow.
The cats have spoken.
30 points for Halloween. Wow. Okay.
Here we go.
All right. Okay. And listen, seriously, Neil, thank you so much. We appreciate that. It helps out so much. And that will be 30 points that will go to Halloween. And let's do a super chat clip. Again, sometimes what?
Nothing.
Okay. Sometimes, when you're feeling kind of messed up and you need a little pick me up, there's only one way that you can get to pick me up. Here we go.
Thanks, Neil.
Hey, look. Oh man, Kill's losing it.
You're gonna break your brother one of these days. You really are.
I know, man. I know. That's what it's all about. Happy birthday, bro! Happy birthday.
That was Neil's present to you, Kill.
I was waiting to play. I was waiting to play a clip, and I wanted to get you laughing and stuff, so I could throw that out as a birthday wish. But seriously, man, happy birthday! I love you, bro. Seriously.
Thank you. Love you too.
All right, guys. Hey, Neil said could have been Tony the Tiger.
That is true.
We still have plenty of time left.
He's, I thought Mr. T was coming. Million said, I thought Mr. T was. Hey, you never know. You never
Yeah.
know. You never know. All right, guys, let's go to our next category. We got to talk about the directors here. Let's get down to brass tacks, bro. Eric, who gets the point for directing? Is it going to be Rob Zombie or is it going to be Brian De Palma?
Shit.
You ready?
I love them both as a director. You know, I'm a
Mhm.
big supporter and defender of Zombie and his films, even the really bad, trashy ones. You know what I mean? The man has a vision,
does.
and he knows how to shoot a movie.
Mhm.
But it's Brian De Palma.
Okay.
I'm giving it to him. You know, we have his usual gimmicks. You know, the split screens and stuff
Mhm.
like that. But like I said, that one scene of her and Tommy dancing, and I love it. They're on this little platform, and they're spinning around. You know what I mean? And Rob has
Mhm.
his symbolism, and he's really good with it. But the symbolism of that scene where it's just them, everything else is a blur. They're the only
Right.
ones in that moment, and it looks
Mhm.
flawless. Like De Palma has some problems, like when he speeds up the movie for a couple reasons, just for comedic effect, it
Yeah.
falls flat. But
Mhm.
Rob is still early on in his career. He did Devil's Rejects, and he had a lot of pressure
Yeah, he did.
remaking Halloween. I think he did a damn good job, but he's no Brian De Palma.
All right. Okay. Kill, how about you?
I'm really trying to think about this in the stance of not their body of work, but just this
Right.
movie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's,
Um,
let me just say, I'm glad you said that because that's what we're talking about. Just these movies alone, one versus another. Yep.
yeah, and also obviously one is older,
Mm-hmm.
techniques are are different, and Rob is very gritty,
Mhm.
and his movies reflect that.
Mm-hmm.
This is a close one, but
Mm-hmm.
I am going to give it to Rob Zombie. And
Mm.
don't kill me in the audience, guys. You know,
No.
shots out. Brian De Palma, my hat is off to you.
Mm-hmm.
But for a few reasons. One, the pressure. Like we were just talking about the pressure he was under to
Mhm.
do this and to do it right. And
Mm-hmm.
also, you got to keep in mind, up until this movie, remember the Halloween movies we had.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the Halloween mask that we had. We had Busta Rhymes beating up Michael.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to say about that. As far as the way it's filmed, it is Southern Kentucky fried. It's
Mhm.
gritty, it's trashy, it's loud, it's violent, it's
Mm-hmm.
visceral. And everything from choosing Tyler to be Michael reflects that. A bigger, badder, scarier monster of a killer. And for me, like some of the shots and the way that Rob kind of did shaky cam a little bit in some of
Yes.
the scenes of
Yeah,
like
he did.
violence,
Mm-hmm.
like extreme, like Joe Grizzly getting killed,
Mm-hmm.
um,
The chase
Machete
against Laurie.
getting
Yeah.
killed,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and on top of that, it just the tender scenes, like with Sherry Moon Zombie and
Mm-hmm.
Michael. It's like not only is it not shaking, the camera's kind of slowly does this panning in thing, and you see the warmth. You could feel the warmth.
Mhm.
Um, so I once again, they both did great jobs, but there's no lying here. I just feel Rob hit it slightly better.
Okay, all right. This is tough, man, because
It is.
Mhm.
these are two um different types of movies with a lot of similar things going on. Okay, and you guys both said it. This is Rob early in his career. This is De Palma in 1976. So there's a lot of different things you got to look at. And you're right, the pressure that Rob had for this film. And the whole debacle with two, and he was supposed to do a third one, which, by the way, I've talked about that countless times in videos. So check out the Halloween playlist for um, behind the scenes on that. But that being said, we got to just look at the product, what they directed. I think with De Palma, there were just a lot of moments that you could just see a flair, a nuance as a director, which was really cool. Um, but at the same time, you've got Rob coming in with a lot of bombastic intensity. I wasn't really big on the shaky cam part of it end, because I think we didn't need that. Tyler was menacing enough, the moment was menacing enough, and so forth. But yeah, this is tough, man. I think I'm going to give the point, and this is just barely. I'm going to go with Brian De Palma, and the reason is you've got a story that there's a nuance you have to have to this story, right? Because it could have just been what some people may think, someone gets bullied, but oh wow, they've got power, so then they kill everyone, right? It could have just been that. But it was a lot more than that. There's a lot of tenderness, there's a lot of moments where you just feel bad for this character. There were moments where you didn't know if you were a fan of Sue or not, and then prom is going on, you're like, oh shit, they were actually real about this. They did want to give this girl her prom moment, and you're feeling good. And Brian De Palma knows how you feel, so he goes on that roller coaster with you as far as what happens when the blood goes on her. And then that's not even the worst part. It's even after that you're still on this roller coaster, and I think that it takes a very special director to kind of weave back and forth. Whereas with Halloween, I think the strongest parts of it were the first half, and once he gets into more of the traditional Halloween setting with Laurie and so forth, I think that's when it kind of goes into more of a, okay, Michael's stalking them, Michael's gonna kill them, and which is fine. Carpenter did that too. But Carpenter had a lot of nuance to how he directed it, and really elevated the material beyond just what a slasher movie is, in my opinion. So, all right. Okay. So real quick in the chat, let's just get back to the chat, see what these guys are going with. Ben is going with Brian De Palma. Paula is going with Rob Zombie. Okay. Let's see. Ginger Ninja going with Rob Zombie. Okay. Neil saying, I love De Palma, but nobody does mayhem like Rob Zombie. Okay. All right. Let's see. Scott is going with Brian De Palma, and we're really back and forth. Millions going with Rob Zombie. Elm Street's going with De Palma. Jinzo saying De Palma is an excellent director. All right. And let me just catch up. We also have we've got Sarah coming in with a super chat. She says, thank you so much, Sarah, saying, I'm here to give Neil a hard time. 20 for Carrie. Wow. Nice. All right. Woohoo. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. We appreciate that.
Sarah's like, hold my beer.
Yep, pretty much. Wow. Thank you so much, Sarah. We really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Let's do a clip for the Queen. And like, I like outdoors, bro. I like nature, but sometimes nature can be really dangerous, and this might happen to you. You gotta watch the wakes, bro. You see how he just folded down like a stuffed animal, man.
I like how we're all watching the clip, wondering, all right, where's the insanity?
Yeah. When's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen?
When is somebody gonna come out with a taser, or a whale is gonna land on the boat, or something like that?
Nice.
That was pretty tame for you, sir.
Well, you gotta change it up, man. It can't do the same thing. Sarah saying,
when is Mr. T gonna parachute onto the boat?
Yeah. Oh, dude. That'd be hilarious.
He's gonna go look for Mr. T parachuting clips after this.
No, I'm good. Sarah says, Neil and I have a storied history in these here battles. Yeah. There you go. Nice. We got Scott coming in with a super chat too. All right. Wow. $20 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Saying, I just want to see Michael continue, so I help Neil and Sarah out with 20 points for Halloween. Okay.
Lord.
All right.
They worried about that no rematch contract clause. I think that's what
I guess so. I know. Hey, look, we're just talking about these two movies. That's all we're talking about, man. All right. Scott's a fan of Rob Zombie tonight. That's
So, yeah.
interesting. Okay, real quick. This one's for you, Scott. Let's do this. And yeah, sometimes he's always laughing. Sometimes you got to do something that's fruity, man. Here we go.
Do something fruity.
No, thank you.
Well, then can I do it?
Gross, you're drunk.
Maybe, but who's stopping us? Your dad?
Yeah, right.
Your dad.
I love that.
I do
something
too.
fruity.
Something fruity, man. Thank you so much, Scott. We appreciate you, brother. Oh man. Okay. I know Sarah's like, oh my God, Scott, that was good. You guys are all right though. Seriously, thank you so much for the support. We appreciate that. Let's see. We also got Ginger Ninja coming in as well.
Oh Lord.
$10 super chat for Ginger Ninja. And 5 points to Gryffindor. I mean Halloween. All right. Oh man, very, very cool. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you, brother. You know that. Thank you so much for the support. And we will put that 10 points to Halloween. Okay. All right. Sarah said their necks will never be the same. I know. And real quick, too, we got a new member. We got Mr. Rick coming in.
Welcome.
Becoming a part of the channel memberships. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate that. Welcome to the inner circle, as we say. It really helps us to keep the lights on, and you'll definitely be able to come to our exclusive live streams. We have exclusive watch parties and all that type of stuff, man. And also communication, with us on a more intimate and regular basis. So I communicate with these guys usually almost every day. So check out the community posts on the community tab for members. Very cool. Thank you so much. All right. Russell saying evil isn't dying tonight. Who would have thought? Let me just say this, Eric, tell me what you think of this, because this is not the first time we've had Rob Zombie's Halloween in a Battle World match. What do you think of this?
Well, the first time Michael scored a victory was against himself, and he defeated Rob Zombie's Halloween, and now he's just maybe buying his way to a W. That's all I'm going to say.
Buying his way to
That's okay. Hey. God bless America.
Let's remember the gauntlet that Michael had to run.
That's right.
Finally,
I gave credit where credit's due. I ate a whole plate of crow. It's okay. I'm just saying there's no lying in here.
Yeah, there's no lying. Okay, guys. Next up, scarier threat. The scarier threat. Eric, who gets the point? Is it Michael Myers or is it Carrie White? Carrietta White.
Oh, it's Carrie White. She's an X-Men. She's an X-Men. As Tyler's my favorite Michael. That dude is, 7'6" and 400 pounds of mean. You know what I mean? He's scary to look at, and he's brutal. But Carrie doesn't. We're talking about how they are in the movie. By the end of the movie, she has full control of her powers. Michael isn't even getting close to her. You know what I mean? She's throwing him in front of a truck and then lifting the truck up and slamming it on top of him or something. It's no contest.
All right. Okay. Kill. How about you?
I mean, obviously there's different circumstances that, you could kind of avoid each of these, but I would say just in general, the X-Man or X-woman is always the bigger threat. Because Carrie, we don't know where her powers come from. We can speculate, but obviously, you don't want to piss her off. So I'm gonna go with Carrie on this one.
Okay, all right. Yeah, look, man. I mean, let's just look.
There's no lying here.
There's never been any lying here, man. And I won't reference another movie, but we know what happened in that movie. And as far as I know, in this movie, Michael is alive. He's a man. He is definitely a man. Rob made that choice, which is fine. He's not supernatural at all. All right, so it's got to go to Carrie. I mean, we're talking about Jean Grey here, okay? I mean, she's like one step below the Phoenix level, okay? So yeah, I gotta do that. There we go. Okay, real quick, let's see. Melissa saying Carrie for threat. Scott saying, please don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, thank you so much, Scott. We appreciate that. And definitely, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. We got Trickster in the chat. What's going on? Going with Carrie. The Queen saying, Carrie, for sure. Michael can only really hurt you if he can physically reach you. There we go.
Right.
Ben, you know what's up. You know what's up, man. We got Rachel in the chat. What's going on, Rachel? Hope you're doing well. Saying, my dudes, how is this even a comp? Zombies, messy, ridiculous. Hillbilly take on a classic, or De Palma's beautiful and eerie adaptation of one of King's best. Carrie, hands down. All right. Well, Rachel, this is an interesting night so far. You might want to hang around, man, because there might be a tiebreaker that comes up in this thing. All right. Neil saying both would kill me in 2 seconds flat, but Michael would make it effing hurt. Okay. Oh my God.
I don't know, burning to death from
Yeah.
Carrie.
Or even getting electrocuted like what the principal did. That looked like it would hurt too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Buff Shaman saying Carrie's a stronger telekinetic than Tina, and she beat Jason. Jason's the same archetype of killer as Michael, but weaker, so Carrie wins. Okay. All right. Let's see. Million saying, I don't know about this one. Okay. All right. Mayann's in the chat. What's up, May? Good to see you. Saying hi to everyone. Glad to have you here. Okay.
Hey,
very, very cool. Scott saying, I would say Carrie for threat. Okay. All right. Rachel saying, I do love zombies. Michael, though, dude is a freaking beast. There you go. Ginger Ninja saying, while some aren't fans of what Zombie did with Halloween, but if Rob Zombie's Michael wasn't damn menacing, he took out Big Joe Grizzly. Exactly. I love that. That's a good one. Elm Street going with Carrie for the scarier threat. Okay. All right. And Scott saying this fight between Carrie and Michael reminds me of the same fight between Tina and Jason. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Okay. Next up, the more tragic character of the two. Is it Michael or is it Carrie based upon these films? Eric, what do you think?
I'm going to go with Carrie, and here's why. Both are bullied. We said that, all through this stream. What makes Carrie more tragic for me, Michael still had a loving mother. Carrie didn't. Carrie's mother tried to take her out at the end. The people you're supposed to trust the most in your life, other than your significant other, are your parents. Margaret White literally, I don't know if De Palma did this on purpose, or literally stabs her daughter in the back. Tries to take her out. End of story.
All right. Kill, how about you?
I couldn't have said it better because that's exactly my demarcation line. The mom.
Yeah.
If your mom tries to kill you, your story is hands down by default more tragic. Yeah, this is easy work here. It's Carrie, more tragic.
Okay, for me, you guys said it perfectly, and I also have to go with Carrie on this. And one thing I want to say, and I thought the same thing. It's interesting how we're on the same page with this, but the mother, man, when you think about that, it's just crazy. I mean, Margaret White, I guess we could say in her own way, loved Carrie. She's her daughter, and she was trying to do what she thought was the right thing as far as making sure that she had, strong faith and so forth. But bro, right when the smoke started to come out, man, she was like, "Oh, wait a minute now." She has that one scene when she said, I forgot how she worded it. Basically, she said something. It was a quote. She says, "Thou can't stand a witch," or something like that. So as soon as she, Carrie started to show her abilities, Margaret was like, "Peace." You know what I mean? And that's messed up, bro. That's messed up. Whereas on the other hand, you've got Michael and Deborah is still trying her best to be a part of Michael's life. And even when Michael, attacks the nurse right in front of her, instead of just just giving up on Michael in front of him, she's just like, you know what, I can't be a part of this equation anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it was just really interesting how both of these movies showed the tragedy of these characters, but also the outcomes and how that happened. So I got to give this point to Carrie on that.
Yeah, there's one thing you can say. We're not talking about the sequel where Deborah becomes a force ghost or however you want to say it. You know what I mean?
Right.
For a fact, Deborah would never lay a hand on her son.
Exactly.
Margaret White tried to take out her daughter.
Yeah, man. And when that happened, when I first saw the movie, I was like, what? I just was like, are you serious? I mean, she was going all the way. I was like, wow. Crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy. Paul is going with Carrie. May is saying Carrie is so tragic. Trickster is going with Carrie. Let's see. Rachel saying, oh, definitely Carrie. Okay. Russell's going with Carrie. Elm Street with Carrie. Let's see. Buff Shaman saying Carrie is more tragic. Kid Michael made me want to see his bully get up and knock him out. Wow. Okay.
I don't know. That bully was talking trash about his mom too, so he deserved
I know.
So,
and his sister.
Yeah.
And he was picking on people that were just walking by. It's like,
and he had a punchable face.
He
did.
Yeah.
He really did.
So
yeah. Scott's going with Carrie. Elm Street going with Carrie. Let's see. Million saying Carrie wins this easy. Michael always had a choice. There you go. So see, these categories definitely are interesting. Ginger Ninja saying, yeah, I got to give it to Carrie for this. While Michael's mother unalived herself, he was already too far gone down the dark path by this time. Carrie had to stop her own mother to survive. All right. Okay. Neil also going with Carrie. All right. And Rebecca also with Carrie. Wow. Okay. Next up, next category is atmosphere. Eric, atmosphere. Who's getting the point?
This is tough. I think I'm going to go with Halloween because you feel the uneasiness of that movie, and that was Rob's intention. He wanted you to feel uncomfortable.
Yes, he did, yep.
De Palma wanted you to have those happy feelings and then just bring it down. But there's really no happy feeling in Halloween at all. And that was what Rob's intention was, and it worked. And again, I've said it numerous times, with other Halloween battle worlds or Friday the 13th, when you have that open area of a small town in the dark, in the fall, you feel cold, and if there's someone chasing you, you feel scared. So Haddonfield was perfect in 2007's Halloween.
Good point. Good point. Kill, how about you?
This is an easy one for me. I'm going with Halloween. Whether you like it or not, atmosphere is atmosphere. And whether it's Michael's home as a kid growing up, him being bullied in school, or Haddonfield as a whole, you feel the atmosphere. And also, I'm sorry, when he's also at the asylum, Smith Grove, it's what Rob does. He wants you to feel uneasy. He wants you to think that opening scene with the family and the cursing is like, ooh, cringy. And he gets you from the start of the movie all the way to the end of the movie, whereas what Brian De Palma did, essentially, I don't feel the atmosphere as much. I mean, if you take out the bullying and the powers and the overly kind of crazy religious mom, it's a girl that wants to go to prom and her mom doesn't want her to go with the boy. It's a small town, it's a school, but the atmosphere isn't really what they were doing with that. They were doing, both of these movies are doing two different things. For me, Carrie is the atmosphere as her power is growing and as she just is evolving into what she becomes. So with that being said, I got to go Halloween.
Okay. For me, I think both of these movies do a good job of setting up atmosphere. but they're done in different ways. Like you were saying, Kill. I think with Carrie, some of the best moments of atmosphere are moments, like you said, where it's about Carrie. Whether when she's, thrown into the closet or things at her house, how she's kind of trying to listen out for her mom, and or her mom standing behind a door, and you don't see it at first. First time you watch this movie, I did not see Margaret behind that door at the end, and as soon as that door opened and she's just standing there like a hooligan. I'm like, what is going on? Just creepy things like that, and there's these little touches of creepy moments in this film that I think really highlighted what Stephen King was trying to do with this story. That being said, I got to give the point to Halloween because of the fact that Rob's intensity, the grittiness, the characters that are portrayed in this film and what's going on. I think it's very consistent throughout the whole film, from the beginning all the way up until the end, when it's basically Laurie versus Michael. So yeah, both movies have good atmosphere, but this is fairly easy for me. It's got to go to Halloween. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. All right, so I'm going to give that point to Halloween, and we are almost there, guys. We're getting close to the end. And you know what that means. Real quick, let me just jump to the chat. We got Quentin, who's going with Halloween. Let's see, who else? We've got Ginger Ninja saying Halloween had a tense atmosphere that kept building to a violent, brutal, dark ending. Well said, man. I agree with you on that. Million saying Halloween gets the point for atmosphere. Rob was onto something. His moving tableau in the opener is so eerie. There you go. Thanks, May. We appreciate that. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Man. Who would have thought? 30K. We're not official yet. Any YouTuber, you understand what I'm talking about. But we'll be partying soon. We will. So for you guys that are here, hanging out with us and being so active in the community, and obviously dear friends for a long time. So many of you guys, and obviously Eric as well, who's basically family. We appreciate, everything that you guys have done to help this community be what it is. All right, let's go to our next category. Guys, and it is going to be favorite scene. Eric, favorite scene. What do you got?
First one that pops into my head. I think I've been hanging around Coriander too long. Shout out to her. I'm picking Carrie because I'm starting to become a sucker for all these love stories. You know what I mean? And I already mentioned it. I love the scene where Tommy is just having fun with Carrie at the prom. And he's, he's starting to fall for her. I'm not saying he's going to leave Sue for Carrie, but he's starting to fall for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it ends with that scene where it's just them. I mentioned it. They're on the little pedestal or platform or whatever De Palma created. They're spinning around and no one exists but them. You know what I mean? That's got to go with Carrie.
The thing about that scene too, William Catt, who doesn't get enough credit, I think he was very effective in this film. And when he said, we're here together, what did he say? He said something like, do you like that? And he's like, I like it. And then he said, I like it. And he had this big smile on his face. Like you knew he really did, right? That was the point where I was like, wow, they really, because you were suspicious of them the whole time, Well,
Tommy didn't want to have anything to do with it. Remember, he's doing it so Sue wouldn't be mad at him.
Right.
And then he's having the best time. I love, again, to piggyback on this, when he convinces Carrie to vote for themselves. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And you said William Catt doesn't get enough credit because he usually does comedy, Greatest American Hero or even House, you know what I mean, for a deep cut. He's really good in this with the dramatic stuff. And it's not lovey-dovey, you know what I mean? It's not, it's not like, that type of stuff. It's genuine. And like I said, I'm not saying he would leave Sue, but he's starting to fall for Carrie that night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And what's interesting too, you do believe what's interesting too, just to piggyback on that, because I think it is a great scene, but it's awesome because I think he sees beyond the hype of the bullying. He actually sees this girl for who she is, who she could be if she is allowed to be. And I think, look, I think most everyone can relate to that. I think
Mhm.
most people have dealt with folks that are mean to them, maybe bullied, or maybe you just feel kind of awkward in certain situations, whatever it
Mhm.
may be. And in that moment, she actually was able to be herself and be
Mhm.
comfortable. And he saw that. He
Oh
actually
yeah.
saw that. And again, that's why I said De Palma, had to get the point for director, because De Palma is telling all of that in just one scene where they're spinning around
Yeah.
with a couple of words. All of
Mhm.
that's being said in one scene. That is great storytelling. That's great direction and great
Yeah.
acting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
One last thing.
do yours. Just do
Yeah.
yours.
Well, for me, there's a lot of great scenes in both of these films. I
Mhm.
really, really do think there's great scenes in both of these. But to me, when I think about the first one that comes to my mind, it's got to be with Halloween, when Michael is first coming after Laurie, and listen, Scout doesn't get enough credit either,
Mhm.
and I can even put some of that blame on myself as a Halloween fan. But I think she did a lot of great things as Laurie that were different from Jamie, which I can appreciate. Some people, they get wrapped up in fandom, and that's fine. Everyone has their
Mhm.
choice. But I appreciate what she was doing. And she sees her best friend basically dying, and all she can think about is helping her friend. She's not
Yeah.
even being as smart as we know she is, or as smart as she eventually shows that she is. Totally not thinking about the fact that the killer could still be in the house. And when Michael shows up and she flips and goes out of the glass door, which was basically an homage to 78 when Jamie Lee Curtis did it, it's like boom, it's on, and Michael's coming after her, and it was just one of those scenes where I remember seeing it in the theater, Kill, when we watched it, and I was just like, whoa, it was a different vibe. So I got to go with Halloween for that one, but I definitely think yours, Eric, is great. It's one of my favorite scenes too from Carrie. So, all right, Kill, how about you?
I always go with the first one that comes to my mind, and maybe I just like seeing Michael kill people in bathrooms. Whether it's the new trilogy and he kills the two podcasters in the bathroom and taunts them, or if it's my man Big Joe Grizzly, where Michael has the dirtiest feet ever on the face of the planet with those giant sandals, just
Mhm.
standing there, and Joe's like, "Hey, buddy."
Hey,
What are
buddy.
you doing? But look, Joe is like the Terminator. I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. He's like, look,
Mm,
you fit my build. I gotta kill you,
Mhm.
mhm.
because now I'm gonna ride dirty, probably in your truck, and get back to Haddonfield. And honestly, Ken Foray makes that scene. Just
Mm.
the
He does.
banter and
He does.
and just the sheer fact is Joe Grizzly ain't scared of shit.
Oh no.
Right.
He
Did you see the
saw this.
knife he had ready to
Man,
rock?
he's like, I got something for you, baby. I
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
something. And then when he sees this giant man, he still is not afraid
Mm-mm.
of
Yeah.
Tyler. He's like, look,
Right.
it's on. I got this knife. So yeah, it's a
Mhm.
scary scene, but it's also funny. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's my favorite scene.
No doubt. No
When
doubt.
that scene opens to Rush, it's
Yeah.
gonna be good.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Real quick too, in the chat to catch up with these guys, we got May working hard for us. Thank you so much, May. We appreciate you being here and helping out and hanging out with us, staying with us the whole time. That's very appreciated as well.
Mhm.
Elm Street saying every scene with Piper Laurie is my favorite. There you
Yeah.
go.
She's
There
good.
you go. Good call,
Very
man.
good.
It's good to see people giving love to the OGs. Scott saying Tommy Ross was very genuine to Carrie. I agree.
One thing I want to say about that, a lot of you mentioned it earlier, is he still, iffy on her? Is he part of it?
Mhm.
He's pissed when that bucket falls.
He
He's
is
legitimately pissed. So
Yeah.
if anyone's
Mhm.
still unsure if it's just an act, when he
Mhm.
there's no dialogue, but he literally points out, and you can see him mouth, "What the hell?" He's legitimately
Mhm.
pissed, and he wants to fight whoever did it to her. So
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Let's see who else. We got a couple more comments we'll jump to in the chat. Scott was also saying he loves that same scene as you, Eric. Yeah. Trickster I liked the look on Tommy's face when he first saw Carrie in her dress. Yeah,
Mhm.
you know, it was genuine, man.
Yeah.
Listen, man, if you didn't start to feel good for Carrie at this point in the film, then the
Yeah.
whole thing didn't work for you, because
Yeah.
that's what Brian De Palma was trying to do. Let
Mhm.
you see her at her worst, the bottom of the barrel, and then the rise. You know what I mean? Even John Travolta said that. Wow, that
Yeah.
Carrie girl, she's really cute.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy crap, like this girl there's a chance for her to have some sense of normalcy and happiness. And then, of
Mhm.
course, the carpet is pulled out, the rug's pulled right out underneath of her. And it's tragic, man. It's tragic. Ginger Ninja saying there are a lot of scenes in both that stand out to me, but more scenes from Halloween stayed with me. All right. Russell saying his favorite scene is the finale, the ending. All right. Very, very cool. Kenny's in the chat. What's going on? Saying Carrie's the better movie. Okay. All right. We got Jose as well saying, hey, night fam. Hope everyone's having a good night.
Jose?
Ronnie, the breakfast scene. There you go. There you go. And by the way, if you have not hit the like button, please do. We got a bunch of people jumping in. We appreciate that. But please hit the like button. It definitely helps to support the stream. Mike in the chat. What's up, Mike? Saying favorite scene is Halloween Rob Zombie when he kills Danny Trejo. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a pretty sad scene too, man. Let's see. We got Sir James is in the chat.
There he
coming in.
is.
Cool.
$20 super chat. Let's see. For Carrie, Rob Zombie, they're all gonna laugh at you. That was good.
That was
Oh,
good.
that
man.
was good. Wow. All right. Sir James is coming in, giving a chance, giving a little bit of a chance. Okay. Wow. This might change some things, or at least get it a little bit closer. Thank you so much for that, Sir
Yeah.
James. We appreciate the support. We really, really do. And it makes a difference. And because my brother, whose birthday is today,
Oh,
referenced it earlier, let's just do this, because sometimes, you know, as kids, we liked to do a lot of artistic activities, you know, and this just gives you a reminder of how it could go bad.
Purple is the color of many pretty things from a lilac.
I
I
just
forgot
love his,
about that.
I just love his facial expression when he does. He's like,
Anybody else want to sing?
Oh, there we go.
Happy birthday,
All right.
Kel.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Sir James, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it so much. Thank you. We got Super Tenor in the chat too. Hey man, what's going on? Good to see you.
Welcome.
All right. Let's see. I want to make sure I catch up to everyone. And Scott was saying it's not just that Tommy saw Carrie in the dress, but the fact that Carrie made the dress herself made it even more genuine and likable. Yeah, you know, she was just she was a very down-to-earth, regular girl. You know, she
Mhm.
really was. And it was cool to see her have those moments. And we got some birthday wishes in the chat. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. We appreciate that. Ginger Ninja and Russell, Jose. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys so much. Very, very cool. With some birthday cakes. That's cute.
Nice.
Ginger Ninja, you're all right, man. Sarah's still working hard in the chat. We got 45 likes. Let's try to get to 50. We should be able to do it, guys. Let's do it. Thank you so much, Sarah. Sarah also saying happy birthday, Gil.
Oh, thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, very, very cool. Okay, and Mayan as well. you guys are so cute. You're all right, May. Next up, worst figure. Is it Ronnie or is it Chris, Eric? William Forsythe versus Nancy Allen.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Hear me out on why I picked Chris. I kind of said it before with the supporting characters. Chris is just getting started. She's going to become Ronnie in about 20 years. Whether she's, helping RoboCop or not kill, she's going to become Ronnie. Ronnie's deplorable. He threatens to smack a kid in the face with his cast. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
But Chris does all this. She helps butcher an animal just to ruin a girl's night.
Mm-hmm.
That's and like I said, the fact that she's 17, 18. When kids do it over adults, that's worse for me.
All right. Interesting. Okay. All right. Kill. How about you?
This is an easy one for me. It's Chris. And the reason I'm saying it's Chris, Ronnie is in a wheelchair. I'm not sure if they say how he got in there, if he was like an ex-veteran or whatever. And I'm not excusing any of his behavior. But he's in a wheelchair. He seems like he's also an alcoholic. He's got a lot of things going on. Chris is living her best life. Like I mean, at least on the surface, everyone has their issues, but you don't really see any issues other than her being an asshole and her not liking Carrie for whatever reason. Carrie has done nothing to this girl. And I agree with what Eric said. Carrie is going to become Ronnie 2.0 as she gets older, and the lengths that she's going
over prom tickets of all things.
Yeah, Ronnie is just at home drinking and being an a-hole. Yeah, Chris is like butchering pigs, getting the blood, getting her boyfriend John Travolta in on it, making sure that the votes go to Carrie, getting her in place, putting all this stuff to just mess up her night. It's a lot of stuff. So yeah, so this is easy work. Chris is a true villain.
All right. So for me, I think this is tough, man, because I think they're both really bad characters, and you could make an argument for either. This is how I'm going to do it. Like, Chris, I mean, seriously, she's like a nightmare for anyone in high school if you're on the wrong side of things with her, because the lengths of what she was trying to do, it was absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to give it to Ronnie, though. And this is why. Because, I mean, he was just, look, Michael's a kid. In the movie, he's portrayed as 10 at this point. And the stuff that he's saying to Michael is just unbelievable. But here's why I'm giving him the point. That's not the only person he's horrible to. He's horrible to Deborah. He's horrible to Judith. The things that he's saying allude to what things he might do if he had the chance. I'm not going to get into that, but you guys saw the movie and about Judith, and obviously being so abusive to Deborah, and even to Lori or Boo. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's bad news, man. So I'm gonna edge it out just because of the fact that he's displaying that to multiple characters, in his portrayal. Where Chris, yes, I mean, she sucks. She's an absolute villain. Nancy Allen was fantastic in this film because she made you hate her. You really, really did.
Yeah.
But in the movie, we're only going by what we see in the movie. She's directing all of that anger and frustration and hate and rage to one person. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm going with that. Okay. All right. Interesting stuff. Let's see who we got in the chat, what they got going on. Let's see. Rick is going with Chris. Melissa is going with Chris. Scott is going with Chris. Let's see. Mayanne saying, when she licks her lips holding that bucket, I hate her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's ready.
Yeah, she is. Ginger Ninja saying, Ronnie, hands down. Ronnie, absolute scumbag. All right. Russell going with Chris. Let's see. And Scott also saying happy birthday, Kill. All right.
Oh, thank you.
Very, very cool. And also a pre-birthday to Mr. Rick. Okay. Well, happy pre-birthday to you.
Yeah.
All right. And we got Neil coming back in, another super chat.
Thank you, Neil.
$20 super chat saying happy birthday, Kill. Also, the cat gives 20 points to Halloween. All right. Neil is not playing around. He's like, we're gonna make sure
they're worried.
that
Cats
Rob
are worried.
Zombie, I know. You need to make sure we get Rob Zombie to win this one. Neil, thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate you, man. You know that. You know that.
Oh yeah, all jokes aside, he knows I'm
Yeah.
just fooling around.
Yeah. Million said Ronnie is worse. Okay. Let's see. Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of stuff he's doing. We got Horror Cat Dad in the chat. What's up, man? Good to see you.
Hey,
All right. Trickster saying Ronnie for the win. Okay. All right. We got a lot of people going both ways. That's how we like it. All right. Next up, you knew we had to go with this one, Eric. Michael Myers or Carrie. Which character do you want to give the point to based upon these two movies?
I'm giving it to Carrie because, again, I think she's just more of the tragic character. I'm a sucker for those. And I think she deserves it just a little bit more for that, that 1 or 2 moments of happiness at the prom, and to have it all come crashing down, and then she's got to go deal with Mama White at home. So,
All right. Well said. Kill, how about you?
This is tough, but I'm going to give it to Michael. Michael is killing people within the first 10 minutes and kills all throughout the movie. Carrie kills for the last 15 minutes of the movie.
All right.
That's literally my only reasoning.
Okay.
I love them both, but yeah.
All right. Let's see. Real quick in the chat. And we got Super Tenor coming in with a super chat. All right, man. $2 super chat. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate that. Saying Carrie White body count 440 plus dead, 8 missing equals win. Okay. Wow.
he personally
right.
counted every one of them.
There you go. All right. We're gonna put that to Carrie's tally as well. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate that. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Paul is going with Michael. Super Tenor, of course, is going with Carrie. Neil saying, I'm terribly upset that I have to vote against a masterpiece like Carrie.
You don't have to.
Well, I was just about to say, so you're saying that, well, let me just ask this, because I know Neil likes the movie. So is Rob Zombie's Halloween a masterpiece for you as well? Because I mean, I would assume they'd be on the same level, or it could be that, just the portrayal of Michael, which I get as well. Let us know, Neil. Ginger Ninja going with Michael. Mike's going with Michael. Man's going with Carrie. Russell's going with Carrie. Let's see. Million's going with Michael. Trickster is saying Carrie. She beats all her enemies, but still loses. There you go. Yeah, good point. Good point. May is saying we got 46 likes. Let's get to 50. All right. Thank you so much, May. Elm Street saying Carrie. Buff Shaman is going with Carrie. Carrie for body count. Okay. We got Troy coming in with a super chat. Thank you so much. All right. $10 super chat saying 10 for Carrie. All right. Mike is the Hulk Hogan of these, and I'm getting tired of Mike-a-mania. Carrie goes over tonight. By the way, YouTube made me pay for that twice. Really?
Wow.
Are you serious? Well, look, we're going to put 10 down. I'm going to look for the other one. If we see it, man, we're going to use it. But definitely we're going to put this 10 here. So that's 10 for Carrie, who's trying to find a way to come back. Troy, thank you. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. We really appreciate it. Definitely helps us out as well. All right. Listen, I mean, if you need a pick-me-up at this point, Carrie's trying to get a pick-me-up. There's only one guy that could really help her out. Only one guy in the world, and here he is.
If you don't want to be a crazy fool, you better study real hard and stay in school.
There you go.
No one has a problem with this giant man singing and dancing with little kids. No one, it was nicer times back then.
It was a different time back then.
It was the 80s. It was gentler times, right? Troy, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Oh my God. Too funny. Thank you. And Neil saying, yes, Rob Zombie's Halloween is my second favorite remake.
Wow, good
right
for
behind
you.
Evil Dead. Wow. Okay.
you.
Interesting. Let's see. We also have Elm Street coming in with a super chat saying for $7 super chat saying Carrie for prom queen. Wow. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate that. People are trying.
Guns are coming out.
Hey, look, man, all I gotta say is it's the divide is getting closer. But thank you so much, Elm Street. We appreciate that seriously, and we're going to put that 7 points to Carrie. All right, it's getting close to be
Look,
getting tight again, man.
Man, when you're on top, people just want to see you fall.
Yeah, yeah. You either live long enough. Well, let me just stop. I don't wanna do that. Scott's in the chat. Scott Lauderdale, what's going on? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, man. You guys are too funny. Marion said Carrie was a witch and died when a building fell on her.
Wow.
There you go, man. I love it. Okay, guys, let's go to our next. Let's go to our next category. Eric, the scariest moment. What is the scariest moment in these two films when you first saw them or this rewatch? What was the scariest moment?
Yeah, that's really okay. You know what? I think it's gonna be because none of these two movies really scared me, but I'm gonna look at it this way. I'm gonna go with Carrie, and the reason why it's when she is in full Carrie mode at the prom. Look at her little picture you have right there. Look at her eyes. She's not there. You know what I mean? She's on a whole nother plane. That's scary to me. Like she knows what she's doing, but she's not there. Just imagine if she knew exactly what she was doing. That's terrifying. You know what I mean? We've seen her push kids off bikes and blow up light bulbs and crack mirrors and scare mom. This is scary what she can do when she's finally pushed to her limits. So that's how I'm gonna go look at it.
All right, Kill. How about you?
Yeah, I agree with that. That is scary. For me, child death is scary. So for me, I'm gonna say Halloween, that first kill where he beats the kid to death, like in a park. I mean, this kid, he was an a-hole, but he didn't deserve that. And just to have Michael beat him down, the kid is begging. He pulls up the mask, looks at him, doesn't say a word, and just kind of looks at him like he's an insect, like he's an ant, and just pulls the mask back down slowly and kills him. And it's like, geez, like this is how we're starting this, huh? Okay. Yeah, so I got to go with that one. Halloween.
All right. For me, and that's a great one too, Kill, because I remember when we saw that in the theater, and I was just like, it was so visceral, it was so violent.
The sound effects.
It's hard to watch.
Like, it really is.
And credit to Rob Zombie and both of the young actors, because they've made you feel, like you said, some sympathy for an absolute jackass of a bully.
Yeah.
And then when Rob shows the camera looking up at the trees, but he's spinning it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Instead of showing, and I thought I was impressed with that, because he kind of pulled back and didn't just show this kid getting beat the hell up, to death. That said, I'm going to give the point to Carrie though, and I'm going to tell you why. Two things. I'm gonna give one answer, but two things. One, Eric, you're right, man. When she gets that look on her face, and you get the split screen, and the way Sissy Spacek did it, just the kind of the look, and then just almost robotic Terminator style before the Terminator, right? But because of the fact we know how innocent of a girl that she was, and how she wanted just to be normal. All she wanted was to be normal. She just wanted to go to the prom. She was going to go home early. She had her power, made her mother sit down, don't say anything. And she literally could have, done whatever she wanted, but she still loved her mother and said, I got to be home early for my mother. So that's how good of a character she was, even with all that power. But when she goes here and flips, it's game on, bro. It's game on. But the scariest moment, I want to reference back, Kill. We're going to go back, whatever it was, 40 years, and a Sunday afternoon in the living room where Dad is just reading the newspaper, dozing off with a toothpick in his mouth, and we're sitting on the living room floor. We're doing whatever, acting stupid. But Carrie was playing. I'll never forget the first time I saw this movie. And of course, I didn't absorb all of this stuff that we talk about now, and that's fine. The stinger at the end scared the crap out of me. I'll never forget the first time I saw that, because Amy Irving is walking up. You got the beautiful music. Amy Irving, one of the greatest you know, most beautiful hairstyles of all time,
Oh yeah.
champion undefeated, only maybe by William Catt. But and then boom, and it was like, what? Mayanne referenced it earlier, that's why I didn't say anything. But favorite scene, hand coming
Yeah.
out of the grave, scared the living hell out of me. Fantastic moment.
That's a
Fantastic.
good choice, because if you think about it, if you talk to the horror community and you have them do their top, if not top 5, top 10, there's 2
Mhm.
guaranteed stingers at the end that are always on it. It's always Jason jumping out of the lake, and
Yep,
it's Carrie's hand coming out of the grave.
that's right.
They're always somewhere
Right.
on that list.
They gotta be. They gotta
Mhm.
be. All right.
Good choice.
Cool stuff. Thank you so much, man. And look, man, we got Steven in the
There
house.
he
What's up,
is.
man?
Hey.
Craving something scary himself. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And we've got a ton of ideas here. Steven going with Carrie. We've got let's see. Million said the scariest moment when Laurie was trapped inside the ceiling. Neither actually scared me. Yeah, the ceiling scene was pretty good. It was pretty good because Scout, you definitely were scared for her. It's like, what are you going to be
Mhm.
doing to get out of this situation? Yes. Scott Lauderdale saying scariest moment is anything with Carrie's mother. Coming from Texas and being around the religious right for so long, I can tell you they are truly more terrifying than anything Rob Zombie's got. But there you go. There you go. Trickster saying the Danny Trejo kill, it proved Michael's true evil. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
really
he didn't
Ooh,
care.
that was a bad one. Yep. We got Russell coming in with a super chat. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you. $5 super chat saying, you guys and gals, you fill our lonely life and heart with love and respect. Oh, thank you so
Thanks,
much,
dude.
man.
Thank you.
Seriously, we appreciate that.
Mhm.
Seriously, and we're glad that you're part of the community and you're hanging out with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Scott saying, I would say Michael when he breaks through the door and chases the kids. Also, when the guards are walking him in chains to the door and he breaks free, killing them all. Yeah, that was definitely definitely a big scene. When he is chasing Lori and the kids and the screaming, it's like, ooh, I'm telling you, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. All right. Okay, let's go to our next category. Next category. And this one is failed good intentions. Okay. And this was a great category, Eric. You came up with this one. But
Mhm.
when we're talking about failed good intentions, both movies, you have people that are trying to help these characters, whether it's Miss Collins for Carrie or Loomis for Michael. Who are you giving the point to, Eric, and why?
I gave this one a lot of thought when I came up to it, and of
Mhm.
course I'm going to be 100% fair whether I came up with the category or not.
Hmm.
I'm going with Carrie, and the reason why, Loomis, he really cared for Michael. You bought that, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Especially the younger Loomis. He didn't want to give up on Michael.
No, he didn't.
Neither did Deborah, and sadly, we know what happened with her.
Hmm.
But I think the reason why I'm giving it to Carrie is because Sue had such great intentions. The gym teacher had such great intentions, and even Tommy did. And to me, it led to a bigger tragedy. Yes, Michael's killing everybody, from Smith Grove all the way to Haddonfield, but there were more victims, I guess you would say, at the end with Carrie, and because of the failed good intentions of the gym teacher and Sue and Tommy, there was more tragedy involved.
Okay. All right. Kill, how about you?
I agree with Eric. I'm going Carrie. Um, Quantity. Essentially on Michael's side, you really had, his mom and Dr. Loomis. But on Carrie's side, the gym teacher, especially, because the gym teacher really had no dog in the fight other than
Right.
just, being an advocate for her, whether she's talking to the principal about her and correcting the principal on her name,
Yeah, Cassie.
and just truly advocating for her and telling her, hey, take the week off from PE, go home, relax. I'm sorry for smacking you.
Yeah.
And then of course, like Sue and Tommy, they also had good intentions too, to like give her a good prom. So it's just, all three of these people tried so hard with Carrie, and unfortunately, only one of those people survived. So, so yeah, I'm going with Carrie.
All right. Okay. For me, it's challenging because I think there's arguments to be made on both sides. You know, obviously with Carrie and you've got Sue, Tommy, and Miss Collins, and it's really, you know, they're doing different things, so it's like it's a little bit of a team up. And obviously with Michael, you do have Deborah, you know, for that first half of the film, or a little bit more than a third, or whatever. And then Loomis. You know, Loomis was with Michael from the point of him being a kid to him being an adult. You know, and just basically just trying his best to get through that wall. So you know, it's tough for me. This is actually a very interesting category, Eric, when you came up with it, but I've got to edge it out to Carrie. And the main reason why is because of the death for Miss Collins and for Tommy, especially Tommy. Tommy, you know, out of this whole thing, he was probably, you know, as innocent as anyone, because you know he didn't have any particular issue with Carrie. He was just doing his thing. You know, he was an athlete, and his girlfriend put him into the situation that he said, "Okay, I'll do it," and then he got into it, and then again saw the genuine Carrie and actually enjoyed being with her, and who knows, like you said, maybe you know, was falling for her a little bit in the moment, which was very genuine and is a great story. And when he got knocked out, and he's just a casualty, bro.
Yeah,
he's a casualty.
He
So
wasn't
I
even
think,
taken out by Carrie. That's the thing.
exactly. So it's just really sad when you think about it. So I definitely got to go with this for Carrie, man. No doubt about it. Loomis did survive the movie. Obviously, Deborah didn't, but Deborah made a choice, you know. So, all right. In the chat, Paula is going with Halloween. Okay. Let's see. Russell's going with Carrie. Scott Lauderdale's going with Carrie. Buff Shaman's going with Carrie. We got Young in the chat. What's up, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Saying great stream, guys. Sorry I haven't been active in the chat. Usually driving when you're on. Hey, man. Well, we appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
And even listening. That still is a great way to support, and we really appreciate that. And plus, man, we don't want you to have no accidents. So
yeah, be careful.
Keep those eyes on the road, man. But thank you for being here. Super Tenor going with Carrie. We got movie chat in the chat. What's going on, man? Good to see you. $2 super chat. Where's the Apollo Creed fit? I wish I could say I had one, man. Thank you so much for being here, though. We appreciate you being here. He's like the biggest Apollo Creed fan of all time. I love that.
Nice.
Hopefully you're enjoying the stream. We appreciate it, though. May also going with Carrie. Elm Street going with Carrie. And May's also working. We got 49 likes, guys. All right. Very cool.
Go find someone random, bring them in here, tell them to give a thumbs up.
Nah, there you go. Steven is also saying Carrie again for me. All right. Very cool. Ginger Ninja saying Halloween. Danny Trejo tried to care for young Mikey. Michael's mother wanted her boy back. Loomis did want to help, but yeah. Yep. Ginger Ninja, you're all right, man. He said, if Michael wins, can we get a Joe Grizzly clip? All right. We'll try our best, man. May says we're at 50 already. Okay. Cool, man. Cool.
Nice.
All right. Next up, you know, we got to talk about it. The finale. The finale, Eric. Who gets the point?
Easily Carrie for me. I don't know how long we're given the finale, but I'll say this: even if we don't include the prom scene and the massacre there, I'm still giving it to Carrie. I've said it before. The last time we talked Rob's Halloween, I think his finale goes on a little too long. He could have cut out a lot of the stalking, in my opinion. I think it slows down a little too much. When Carrie gets home, I've already said it plenty, with Margaret literally stabbing her in the back, the one person that's supposed to care about you. But just when she gets home and she's backed into another world again. She's slowly in the tub, cleaning herself off, brushing her hair and looking nice and neat, I guess you would say, after what just happened. And then Margaret is right there waiting for her, stalking her. And then this would have been my second scariest moment. It's when Margaret comes down the stairs and that look on her face, and she looks like she's floating down the
Yes.
stairs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You know, like the lack of a better term, like the angel of death. You know, if we want to go a little religious, with the angels and stuff. And then
Mhm.
Carrie has to take out her mom,
Mhm.
and after Margaret's gone, Carrie is all by herself. She has no one.
I
So
know.
she takes herself out,
Mhm.
so that's a big gut punch. And then of course with Sue, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the hand. So
Yep. All right. Kill, how about you?
With this one, this is an easy one for me. I'm going Carrie because, you know, the carnage that she finally hands down, which is justified, somewhat justified.
Mhm.
And then on top of that, with the whole final part of the finale with her mom back at the home and almost getting killed by her mom, and
Mhm.
then deciding to just bring it all down and end it all.
Mm.
That's deep. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And and you feel for her because it's just like she comes home and, like you said, she cleans herself up. She wants to hug
Mhm.
her mom. She wants to get that motherly embrace from this woman
Right.
who,
hold me.
Yeah, hold me, mama.
hold
Yep.
me, mama.
Mhm.
From this woman who has not been the nicest to her, but still, that's her mom.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gotta go Carrie on this one.
It makes it even more intense and rough because she's not saying hold me mom, hold me mama. It's more childlike. She's asking her mom for help. So
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. For me, I think both finales have a lot of good things to them, and it's kind of tough because I do think with Carrie, even like you said, Eric, even if we're not counting the prom scene, the confrontation with Margaret is just like wow, it's just absolutely crazy. And then, of course, what happens with all of that? The scene was just shot so well, and then, of course, the stinger at the end. Just when you think it's done or there's going to be not a good ending, but you know what I'm saying. Just Sue survived just by luck. And she was a good character. I mean, she wasn't totally innocent because she made fun of Carrie too, but she learned, I think, from Miss Collins that, hey man, maybe I shouldn't be an asshole to this kid.
yeah.
Let me try to do the right thing. So for her to have that nightmare vision and obviously have to deal with the tragedy thereafter of all the deaths, that was really powerful. With Rob Zombie's Halloween, the ending, I do agree. I think the pacing is a little bit off at the end when you almost feel like it's over. And then when he grabs Lori and brings her back into the house, and it kind of goes on, like the ceiling scene is good, but it kind of goes on a little long. It's like, all right, Michael, you've destroyed like the whole ceiling in the entire house and you haven't found her. Time to look somewhere else. But when he rushes her off of the balcony and then, of course, with the gunshot and then boom, it cuts. I do think it was well done. That being said, I gave the finale to Carrie because it's just way too much heavy stuff going on and the weight of the story and how it culminates, how it all comes together at the end. And the pacing, in my opinion, is spot on. And that's why I'm going to give the point to Carrie for the finale. All right. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. Scott saying finale goes to Carrie. Halloween was drawn out way too much with him taking the plank to the ceiling way too many times. I agree that it just went on too long. It just went on too long. Let's see. Million saying Halloween gets the finale easily. All right. Okay. Mike's going with Halloween. Let's see. May is going with Carrie. Ginger Ninja saying Halloween. Carrie ended with a jump scare that felt out of place. Oh, really? Huh. The scene with Lori using the gun, boom, screaming, and then Black brilliant. Rob really nailed it. All right. Okay. Elm Street going with Carrie. Okay. All right. And I think I caught up to everyone here. Scott saying, plus the close-up scenes we saw in the chase scenes does not work. Okay. All right. Next up, guys. We got to make a choice. So this is our final category. So let me just say this. We haven't had any close calls in recent episodes, but this is the last category. If you want to help get points to one of these films, this is the last opportunity. After we're done this category, we can't use those points any further unless you just want to do a super chat to donate to the channel. That's fine. But if you want to have a point, go to one of these movies. This is the final category in which you could do it. Last week, the category went by in like 10 seconds. So I'm just telling you guys now, because we had someone say, wow, that was a quick category. I didn't have a lot of time. So now's the time to do it, guys. That's the last time I'm going to say it. So Eric, let's start this off. You've got to choose between Carrie from 1976 and Halloween from 2007. Which movie gets your point?
I'm going to Carrie. It's Stephen King. It's a triple threat for me. It's Stephen King, it's Sissy Spacek, and it's Piper Laurie. They make that movie. I really enjoy Halloween, and I've championed it and Rob Zombie as long as you've known me, Knight, but there's no denying. I'm going Carrie.
All right. Okay. And that's a great point too, Eric, because you have championed Rob Zombie's Halloween for a long time, as long as I've known. And again, that's why these Battle World episodes to me are so much fun, because even though we might have a preference of the movie, we're basing this on categories, which, we have to think beyond our preferences and what we like, and you're proving that tonight. Kill, how about you? Who gets the point?
This is tough, but there's no lying here. Both of these movies for me, Halloween, the ending is the latter part of it is a little weak, but for me also Carrie, the beginning part is a little weak till things start to ramp up and her powers start to flourish more, but with that being said, in totality, the full movie, I'm going with Carrie, because you do have more than just the horror elements. You do have more than just the supernatural, X-Men elements. You have a story of a young high school girl, trying to fit in, and how many of us know that story? You have her kind of going at it with her mom. You have her going at it with the other girls, and then you also have the romantic part where this cute guy wants to take you to prom, and then of course at the end you have the horror. So in totality, I'm giving it to Carrie.
Wow. All right. Okay. This is tough, man, because I enjoy both of these movies, blemishes and all. And we've been very transparent about, Halloween. We've also been transparent about Carrie, especially Coriander and I. We've talked about Carrie on a couple of different streams. And both of these films have great things going for them. And that's what makes it difficult. But when I look at the totality of these two films, just these two films, we're not talking about franchises or anything like that, there's no way I couldn't give this point to Carrie. I mean, it's a masterpiece, man. It really, really is. It still holds up. It's so well done. It's a great story and we didn't even have this tonight, which we usually would, but really great acting all the way through. You believe these characters. And although I enjoy Halloween 2007, there are some aspects of it that I think were some missed opportunities, whether it be the pacing or some of the choices that were made for characters. And, it's uneven because Rob had to craft a movie that just wasn't a remake of 78. Right. He had to give backstory, which was a great choice, but he also had to do things that were familiar to the fans. And I think that's, it's almost like a tale of two movies, once we go over to the Laurie side of the story. But with Carrie, it's a very well made movie from beginning to end, with the pacing that is very consistent. So, all right. There we go, guys.
Okay, let me say this right now. After this, the super chats are off because you got a bunch. But after this, we're done.
Yep, we see them in there.
We're cut off.
So let's start this up, and just correct me if I'm wrong here, Eric. We got Troy coming in with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Send 10 more for Carrie. And that was like 8 seconds at best. I'm sure that was me that said, oh, it was you that said, yeah, it was quick last time. It was. But you never know. We never know either, man. But we will put 10. Wow, 10 more to carry. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you
Yep.
so much. We got Ginger Ninja coming in, $10 super chat. Halloween all the way. Wow, you guys are all right. Who would have thought we would have cheerleaders for Rob Zombie? That is
Hey,
something else.
it's
I got to look at.
cheerleaders for Michael Audrey Myers.
Well, you know what I mean, because this is the first time we've done this movie. It was a little different last time.
Well, let's see if we get enough cheerleaders if we do White Horse Michael. Okay, we'll
Yeah,
see if
there we
Michael
go.
Audrey Myers.
Yeah.
Is.
Scott also coming in with a
Mhm.
$20 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Saying giving another 20 points to Halloween. All right, man. Thank you so much. Wow.
Michael approves.
Yeah, there you go. Troy coming in with another super chat, $2 super chat, 2 more for Carrie. 2 up to you, Ginger. There you go. That's too funny. All right, man. Scott saying that this category is a tie for me for choose. Well, we wish that we could say tie as well, but we gotta always pick, man, no matter what. Okay, and I think I've caught up to everyone for super chats.
Yes, that's
I
it.
think so.
The
Okay.
$2 was the last one.
Okay, guys. So now we are going to tally this. This is crazy, man. This is going to be very interesting. Again, this is a title match, no rematch clause. Let's do a recap while I try to count these up. It might take me a couple times. So, Eric, let's start with you for the recap, man.
I'm always happy to discuss either Rob Zombie Halloween film, but I'm glad we discussed this one too because I like the realism with the Smith Grove stuff. You know, a lot of people they prefer the shape. I prefer seeing him with the serial killer tendencies with the animals and stuff like that. And again, I love giving Sherry Moon Zombie the props she deserves. Now, what we always do with these title matches, we always bring out the big guns, and that's why we brought out Carrie, because I think Carrie is one of the best Stephen King adaptations. Brian De Palma is so good. And then again, these performances are so good, whether it's Nancy Allen, Sissy Spacek, Piper Laurie. Even we didn't mention our boy John Travolta. You know, he's pretty good in this. I really liked him. But you know, underrated William Catt. And again, it's one of those movies, Carrie, that just really pulls on your heartstrings and you hope and you know it's not going to end good because they're building up this prank. You know what I mean? And they're also building up her powers. So either way, even if you haven't read the book, you know it's not going to end well for a lot of people, and then you just get punched in the gut when that bucket finally gets poured on her. Tonight was a lot of fun. I'm glad we picked these two films.
You know, Eric, I totally agree, and it's been a while since I watched Carrie, and
Okay.
it's funny. Both of these movies are all about escalation.
Mm-hmm.
They both have escalation, but Carrie, the way that the escalation is done is so elegant. It's a very subtle escalation where Rob is in your face, aggression. You know, he's killing animals. He kills his first kid. He kills his family. He kills a nurse. You know, escalate. But Carrie, if you were to start watching this movie, you knew nothing about Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
You knew nothing about it. You know, until you saw like the first, you know, little inkling of her power, you would think that this is just kind of like a, you know, a dark comedy or like just a coming of age story.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a good point because that's what Piper Laurie thought she was in, and that's how she played Margaret Way. So good.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about the way it's filmed is you can look at it like that, yes, but then there is the power aspect, there is the hyper religious aspect, and there is the horror ending, you know, massacre kind of aspect of it. And it's all there, and it's very subtle, it's very sophisticated. And guys, I know I say this almost every week, if you have not watched, especially Carrie, because it's an older movie, if you have not watched Carrie in a while, watch it. It's you know, just like Eric said, it's one of the best Stephen King adaptations out there, and it's a great movie that really subtly it sinks the claws in just over time as you're watching it, and then you're like, oh damn, you know, it got me. So
all right. Okay, guys, for you guys in the chat, let me just say this. I hope that Everyone stays here, and there's a very good reason for that. We have an interesting situation here with the count. We have a panel vote of 34 to 16, a live chat vote of 71 to 105, with a final count because of that 121 to 105, split between the panel and the live chat. So because this is a title fight, we have to go to a tiebreaker.
Oh,
Okay. And the way, and I think we've only done this once.
we did
for
once.
title.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is how we're going to do it, guys. Hopefully you and I know some people probably have left. We're going to get there, guys. So we're going to have a vote with you guys in the chat. I'm going to put up a poll. We're going to have this poll up for, maybe a minute or whatever. We're going to have you guys vote. Whoever wins this vote by you guys will win this match. And the reason, again, is because on the panel, the score was 34 to 16 for Carrie. And by the live chat, super chats, it was 71 to 105 in favor of Michael. So it is a tie. So again, to do a tiebreaker, we're going to run a poll. I'm going to put the poll up right now. Eric, just let me know if you see it. I want to make sure it actually shows up. Sometimes YouTube can be really
Okay.
weird.
Yep. It is up, and I actually have a stopwatch going, so we have that minute. So you just tell me
Okay.
when to hit the button, and then I'll tell
Yeah.
you when 1 minute is up.
Okay, so guys, let's have you guys vote in the live chat now. This will decide who wins the title. Okay, so again, we've got looks like 26 people still hanging out with us. We appreciate it, and hopefully all of you guys will vote because this is very important.
All right.
Yeah, it
It
is.
Go
It is
3,
very important.
2, 1. You have 60 seconds.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Vote, vote, vote. We got 15 votes. Let's vote, guys. 11 more people to vote at least. Throw in your vote.
Yeah.
This will win the title.
15 seconds in.
So again, we are giving you guys the power.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done.
We're calling it. We had 18 votes. Wow. 18 votes. Guys, we're going to call it. Let me just take an official look at what the poll says. Okay, I'm pulling up my YouTube. All right. We have got, wow. Okay.
Is that a
We've
good
got-
wow? A bad wow?
We have got a 70% to 30%
Ooh.
by vote for a tiebreaker. The winner, and new Battle World champion,
Boo!
Stephen King and Carrie, from the bottom of the barrel. Listen, let me just say something. This is absolutely crazy.
The fix is in. No, just kidding.
Michael went right into the middle of Elm Street. Michael traveled to
Mhm.
Crystal Lake. Then Michael rented out a cabin right on the lakeside of Crystal Lake, and then destroyed others. And Stephen King and Sissy Spacek. Wow. Holy crap. Eric, any thoughts? And let me this is crazy.
I got 2 words. No rematch.
no.
All ball busting aside, it's just what friends do.
Yeah.
I would have been happy either way. Like, the ongoing me picking on Michael thing, that's just for fun.
Yeah.
I am happy to see Stephen King as the winner because I'm a bigger King fan than I am a Michael Myers fan, regardless. And I am glad to say this. All respect due to Michael Audrey Myers.
Yeah.
I'm glad Michael was knocked off his pedestal by Carrie instead of like the Children of the Corn or something like that. You know what I mean? So it was a worthy opponent, and Michael has nothing to be ashamed of. I'm pulling up his ranking right now. You know, he's at 6 wins. No one is even close to Michael. Regardless, he's 6-5, but no one is even close.
Wow.
You know, the closest is, you know, Stephen King has 3, but or no, Stephen King has 4 now after tonight. So
wow, man.
Be proud on that white horse as you ride the white horse off into the sunset. You know, it's all good.
Look, it's all about seeing if you can take a punch and if you can take a hit. And that's how winning happens. It's you know, you take the hit, you get back up. Shouts out to Rocky. But it will be very interesting to see how long Stephen King can hold on to it.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
100% true.
Because there's a lot of hungry competitors out there, and I look forward to it.
That's right. That's right. This was crazy. Look, Neil said my cat just stormed out of the room.
Oh
no. Scott Lauderdale says, "Oh yeah, there you go." Jinzo giving us the Rocky callback. Ain't gonna be no rematch.
That's right.
Ain't gonna be no rematch.
Hey, look, we got great adaptations like Dreamcatchers. Dreamcatchers will do it for you.
Yeah. The greatest eyebrows of all time.
Yeah,
that's the scariest moment. The close up on Morgan Freeman's eyebrows.
Oh yeah, buddy.
Hey, look, Drew's in the chat said I had to swoop in and save our girl Carrie. Just had to. There you go. Wow. Look, let me just say this, guys. And seriously, all seriousness, and for you guys that have been around long enough, I mean, if you don't know by now, obviously you know, especially for Kill and Coriander and myself, when we talk about the big 3, or if we're talking about Mount Rushmore, whether it be Freddy, Michael, Jason, or Ghostface, I mean, we're all in. That's what we grew up on. And you guys know I have countless Halloween videos on this channel, more than any other franchise. But to see this play out the way it did, and we never know how it is going to play out, and it truly was down to the wire, and then basically putting it up to fate to have it voted by you guys here in the chat. I mean, I'm telling you, it's absolutely crazy. Michael has gone up against so many others, you know, and even in bad movies, we had Resurrection, you know, and that to me is one of the weakest Michael movies. So this movie is obviously leagues better than Resurrection, but again, wow, what an ending. It's absolutely crazy. Scott's not happy, saying, I don't feel as though this was a very fair fight. I feel the original Halloween, which should have gone up against Carrie. Well, here's the thing, Scott, and why we decide what we decide, because there's 13 Halloween movies and we can't do 78 every time. But what we do try to do is we have a certain motif that we have in these Battle World episodes. If you guys really pay attention to what we're doing and what we usually even say in these, the bullying aspect. Both of these movies have that, and both of these movies have champions of the person being bullied, and that's why we thought that this would be a great matchup. So it is what it is. And Stephen King, we're not going to pick Dreamcatcher to try to go for the title. That would be ridiculous. So it has to be a good movie that's going to try to go for the title. We try to have some type of believability in these. So
I'm going to say this. I'm going to get on my pedestal right now. It doesn't matter who wins. You still like what you like. It's 3 or 4 people getting together and having fun.
Right.
Nothing more.
Yeah. We're just having
whether
fun
you think something's unfair or not. It doesn't change the fact of what you love when it comes to these 2 films. Do you really think I was upset that Michael was winning for 6 times in a row or however it wanted? No.
Months.
Yeah.
Months.
Yeah. It doesn't matter that my movies kept losing. I still had fun.
Right. It's true. Yeah, we're just having fun, guys. But again, at the end of the day, it was here's the best part about tonight. We voted for Carrie. You guys voted for Michael in super chats. You know, and it was huge. It was huge, you know, on both sides. We definitely outweighed a lot to Carrie. You guys definitely outweighed a lot to Michael in super chats. But then when it came down to the vote, You guys voted, and it was
Yeah.
70 to 30, 70%
Yeah.
to 30. So
So
it is what it is.
either way, if you think it's unfair, well, then blame the chat because 73% of the vote.
Yeah,
So
it's true. It's true. All right, guys. Well, hey, we appreciate you guys hanging out. This was this was a lot of fun, man. I did not know we didn't know where this was going to go, but I will tell you guys this. This was a really fun episode for us. 40 something episodes into this series, and we have a lot of great ideas. And next week's matchup is going to be even more different than anything we've done before. And we hope that you guys will join us for that. It's going to be, let me just say, it's going to be really, really different than anything we've done before. So
Yep.
stay tuned for that. And we will catch you guys next time. Take it easy. And as always, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace out, guys.
Cheers.
Peace.